Phil Spencer talks Starfield, Baldur's Gate, and more. Here we go.
Joining us here on Gamescom Studio, the head of Xbox himself, Phil Spencer.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. It's good to have you here on the set to talk about Xbox.
It's awesome to be here at Gamescom. I haven't been since 2017.
Really?
So yeah, were you here last year?
Nope, I skipped last year.
I am just jazzed. It's so cool to see everybody, and it's fantastic to be at Gamescom. I guess the biggest consumer game show on the planet.
It's huge.
Is it? Yeah. Holy shit.
You know what else was cool to see? That
What?
Starfield presentation that you and Todd introed a little bit ago.
It's all Todd.
Yeah.
I was there to intro Todd.
Yeah.
That's my job.
You were the setup guy.
I carry his bag and I intro him.
Starfield's a huge moment for Xbox, obviously. When is the last time Xbox has had a moment this big?
I think,
It was Halo Infinite. You guys fumbled that one, so let's see what happens.
I think
He's probably thinking of Redfall.
I think every month, every time we're doing something that changes, hopefully enhances a customer's experience on Xbox is important.
Sure.
You think about big new IP that has launched on the platform. I might go back to I'm just doing Gears 1. I don't know, like a game that is brand new IP. It's Todd's first game in the BGS team as part of Xbox, launching on the platform. It's a big moment, and I'm proud
Gears
that
1
we're
was
able
a
to give
big
them
deal.
time, and really, really happy with the results. You have a build,
Yeah.
but you're not playing because you're working.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say about it, so I don't want to break embargo.
Have you booted
or anything. I have turned it on.
That's an embargo break.
Oh, no! Well, I'm blacklisted now. Oh, well. Sorry, Todd. Baldur's Gate 3 is the talk of the town right now.
Great game.
You know, this RPG comes along, kind of takes the internet by storm. Do you think it's set expectations for Starfield, or did it steal a little bit of the thunder?
I don't think it has anything to do with Starfield.
I think every game has something to do with every other game. I think that really, because people are choosing to play a certain game, there are these, for example, there are FIFA, right? And some of these sports games that people that aren't gamers play, like Wii Fit, maybe those are kind of outside of the space. But every game is kind of competing with every game for your attention. But yeah, I do think that people will judge Starfield off of Baldur's Gate 3. Sure. I think people will judge a lot of games off of Baldur's Gate 3 from now on.
Great games coming out. It's a good thing for the industry. First,
it is.
Congrats to Larian and the team. I think it's a 97 rated game or something. As somebody who finished the original Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, and what was the expansion for Baldur's Gate 1? Forgotten Shores or something. I'm a huge Baldur's Gate fan, and to see a team spend the time to make, I think, a true next iteration of a classic gaming franchise is always just great for the industry.
Speaking of next iterations, Skyrim came out, 12 years ago, just did the anniversary edition, and it's been supported by an amazing modding community.
Yeah.
Has the same thought been put towards Starfield and supporting
This is a great question. I'm really glad he asked this.
To the future.
Absolutely, and I don't want to disclose what the team has been thinking about, but obviously when you're BGS and you've seen the legs and the support that Skyrim gets even today, right? When you look at what the modders have done, it went into the thinking about what Starfield should be, and proof will be out in terms of how people receive the game. But our hope is that it is another game that's around a decade plus longer, later after it launches, and people are still enjoying it.
I think the last time you were in the hot seat was over.
Is this the hot seat?
I'm really curious to know what's going to happen with Starfield, because I think it's just such a mixed bag. I really don't know what to expect. As I said, it's at the beginning, I was very underwhelmed, and then they did that second, a 1 hour presentation about Starfield, and then I was maybe this is actually pretty good. And I rethought the way I looked at the game. And now, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll play Starfield. I do plan on playing Starfield. But I don't know really... I don't know if I'll stick with it. I don't know what's going to happen. I've never finished a Bethesda game ever. No, I never have.
Right now.
Yeah, the hot seat over here on IGN. But you were at our friends Kind of Funny and doing the XCast around the launch of Redfall, which was obviously problematic at launch. Have any internal processes or procedures been changed to make sure that sort of reaction or issue doesn't arise again?
Well, we're always learning in everything we do, no doubt about that. I would say that, and I've shared some of this, but with Redfall, it was more of us not using our internal processes that were in place already, just because of when integration happened. I'm not using COVID as an excuse, but we did close the ZeniMax acquisition, and then everybody got sent home, and it was just not as easy as maybe some of the earlier companies, studios that we'd acquired in terms of integrating in our process.
I think the reality is they just need to have. I feel like Xbox is in a position where, like, why would somebody buy an Xbox? Why would somebody be like Game Pass as like a massive like service? I think is the incredible. Like, it's fucking amazing. But I don't know if Xbox has as many like blockbuster big games as PlayStation does. I feel like PlayStation has more of them. And I think Xbox, like, they need to go into the fucking basement of Microsoft headquarters, something like that. And, the fucking break on emergency thing that says Gears of War on it, they need to bust that shit the fuck down. Because we haven't had a Gears of War since how long? When was the last time we had Gears of War? I don't even remember. And they just decided they just forget about this? It was fucking amazing. 2019? Well, it's about time. Yeah, it's about time to see another one. I think so. And same thing with Halo Infinite. Like, I think that they need to provide... Like, it's just like, whenever I think of Xbox, I think of Halo, and I think of Gears of War. Those are the two main games that I think of whenever I think of Xbox. Is there a third one? I feel like there's probably a third one. Fable. Yes, Fable. I also would probably think of Fable. Forza, I'm not a big racing guy. We are getting a new Fable, which is good. That's great, even though it's, that weird shit with the trailer. But, like, I would say two of the main flagship games really are not happening. I think it's a big problem that Xbox has. It is a big problem.
But that's all on us, so I'm not trying to deflect any of the criticism. But absolutely, anytime we launch anything, and we're going to learn from the launch of Starfield, we're going to learn from the launch of Forza, and we reevaluate our process, because we want to make sure we're exceeding customers' expectations with everything we do.
Yeah, I'm always sort of curious about that, like what causes that.
In my opinion, I think that the future of Halo is making a game that is set probably before, like, in like the Reach era, with like a lot of different players. Like, I'm a big online game Andy, and I think it would be really cool if you could play with other Spartans and shit like that in the game. I think that would be awesome. That was what I had always hoped for. A prequel, yeah. Because I feel like right now, like, Halo is... It's very hard for Halo to be anything more than like a campaign and a, like just a base game, right? Because, like, there aren't really... Like, the game is basically all about Master Chief, right? Like, let's be honest. And if it wasn't, people would be mad. So, like, I think they have to scale that back and then make a more involved experience. Unreal Tournament as well? Yeah. Whatever happened to that? AKA Destiny? Yeah. Basically make Halo Destiny. Just without 500 different expansion packs.
So, like, is it the cert process? Is it, like, what wall is hit where that sort of stuff is missed? So I appreciate you being candid about it.
Yeah, and I'd say one of the things that was helpful for us with Starfield was our long working relationship with BGS, which you know well. Like, if you go back to original Xbox, like, in what we've done with those teams.
Oblivion.
So the relationship between Todd, BGS, and our platform team was just stronger than it was with Harvey, not because of, and the team at Arcane, not because of anything other than just relationships. Like, we've just known them longer. So sure, Todd brought in the team brought in the ATG group early to start working on Starfield, and that's on us. Like, we should have done that with Arcane. We should have helped them more in the development process, and also just made it clear that shipping a first-party game has a different level of expectation. Mm-hmm. That it's not always true that every team that comes into being part of a first party is aware of when it launches. Feel great about where we are with Starfield.
I didn't even think Redfall was that big of a deal to them. I just thought, like, oh, it's a new game that's coming out on Xbox. Okay, whatever. Oh, it sucks? Okay, whatever.
Starfield. We put out the review codes last week, so we're giving reviewers plenty of time to spend time with the game, and 21? I think all of that's just a sign of the confidence that we have.
Yeah. You tricked me into breaking embargo. Thanks.
That's right. That's right. You're done. No, we do really appreciate people playing and giving us feedback. Like the build that you have, it's not actually the final build. So we're always taking feedback and refining back in, and this is an important part of the process. So thank you for at least loading the game.
Oh, I played like an hour, but I got this whole thing. I got an interview with Phil Spencer to plan for.
Somebody in chat got a good point. Redfall was Xbox's Forspoken. Yeah, there you go.
Another game here, though, that we got to see VCD was Forza Motorsport.
Yes.
You're showing off the Italian track.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But big improvement graphically from what we saw at Summer
I've
Game
always thought Forza is just a graphics demo.
I am curious, though, what are your thoughts on how Forza Motorsport...
Because it looks great.
I'll start with Turn 10. I think from the beginning of Turn 10, when that studio was formed, they've always been a technical showcase for us. A gentleman named Chris Tector is the tech architect for us there, and has just done a great job of getting everything out of the hardware. I'm a huge motorsport fan. I've been from the time we launched that, so I've been playing builds and seeing the progress that they've been making. And I think you're right. Like graphically, where they are right now, it's stunning. The game, what they're doing with ray tracing and other things. But I always love that they've Turn 10 is be able to start with motorsport, expand to Horizon, which Forza Horizon's now kind of a top tier Xbox franchise. I think you can't argue about that. It's just like the number of players that game builds, and their relationship.
This is just like, I can't believe people play a game just to drive around. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not the target audience.
With Playground and what they're doing with Fable. I mean, it's just been awesome to see how Turn 10, a studio that was literally just kind of homegrown within Xbox, has turned into such a force for us.
Got any teases for Fable, seeing you brought it up?
I'll let the team. I was actually on Project Ego, the first Fable that we launched, which I find some humor in. The code name was Project Ego with all the personalities involved. But it's nice to see the team kind of embracing what was Fable, the humor, the kind of choice and consequence and everything. So really looking forward to showing more.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I hope Fable is good. I mean, like, I'll definitely play Fable whenever it comes out. I'm gonna be real. Like, I will. Like, I played the original Fable. I never played any. I played the expansion of Fable before Jason stole it from me. But after that, I never played Fable 2. I never played, I think it was Fable 3 came out too. I never played any of them.
The trailer you showed also during the last reveal. But going back to Forza, you actually dropped the number. So is Forza Motorsport becoming a service platform, or like what's with the change?
Yeah, the team... Service platform, I hesitate a little bit because I think there's a lot of loadedness in games, like what that means. I think what we see with Forza is the evolution of the experience as much about the tech as it is tracks and cars. And we know that when people make an investment in the game, they want to make sure we continue to support the game. And in some ways, when you put a numeral on the end of the franchise, it instantly says, okay, well, now you need to move to like Forza N+1. And it's like, no, we want this to be a place that people feel like they can invest their time, they can invest their experience, and know that this is a place that we're going to be investing in Forza Motorsport for years to come.
You've had a ton of reveals. Avowed was revealed.
Yeah.
What else do I have on?
South of Midnight.
Perfect Dark, South of Midnight, Hellblade, Hellblade 2, Senua's Sacrifice.
I don't know if it's, like, I feel like I like that in terms of MMOs. But I don't know if every game has to be, like, just, like, a forever game. I don't know if that's the right option to make, like, a racing game like that. Why not? Well, I feel like games like that lose momentum. Like, they come out, and unless there's, like, crazy new content that comes out for them that's, like, completely innovative, like, what are they going to add into Forza? It's not like they can add in, this time we're going to add in, I don't know, like motorcycles maybe, or not motorcycles, like fucking flying cars with 3 wheels, cars with swords on the side of them. They're probably not going to add in a lot of that stuff. So it's like, how can you really innovate the game enough to make it interesting for people to come back and play it again? Because that's the biggest challenge that live service games have. It's not getting people to play them, it's getting people to come back and play them again. Because most people will try out a live service game, and then once they kind of hit the plateau on content, then they leave. But what was going to get somebody to actually come back and try it again? Chariots to a death race? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Can you tell us more about
New
the rest
cars
of
every
2023
year?
and beyond, and sort of like what that's looking like for
Again,
Xbox?
maybe I'm just not the audience.
What I can say is we're going to have more beats to talk about.
Yeah, maybe I just
more
I
of
don't,
what we do because
maybe
the
I don't
content
resonate with
lineup
that
is
audience, so I don't
strong.
get it.
And I'd
That's
say
the way
that
that I think it.
completely
think about
recognizing that 2022 wasn't so strong. But we have our biggest booth here at Gamescom, and we have a huge presence. I think there's like 30 plus playable games on our floor, a lot of first party games. Towerborn's here, Ara's here, obviously Forza. So like, it's awesome to see the footprint that we have in the game portfolio from our first party, from partners, from Game Pass, all of it. So I think what you're going to see from us, where maybe the last couple of years we've been more on an annual in terms of when we talk about our games around, I still call it E3, around the E3 timeframe. This year we did Developer Direct in January. We did our showcase. We're here in a big...
Yeah, it's sad that we don't have E3 anymore. It is. Now everybody does their own show.
We've ever been at Gamescom, and you're going to see more regular times to talk about our games because the portfolio is deep enough that we can support that.
Matt Booty promised us 4. Yeah. Are you on track?
For this year?
Well, let's see specifically what he said. Yeah. 4 first party per year.
We more than that this year. If we start with Hi-Fi, Minecraft Legends, Redfall. Maybe people don't want to give us credit for Redfall. I get it, but I understand. Starfield, Forza. We just dropped Age 4 console last night. Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to play that. And then going into next year, absolutely. Like we have talked about it as an aspiration.
Okay.
Now we talk about it as our plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Big news, everybody. I don't know if you heard. Final Fantasy XIV is finally coming to Xbox.
Yeah.
I got to go to the show.
It was awesome. Really cool.
Yeah.
I've been covering that story for like a decade. Like since I started at IGN.
You've been a proponent for it.
Yeah, I've that community is so welcoming. It's an amazing community.
Being there at the Final Fantasy Fan Fest thing was awesome. The first time I'd ever been. It's just incredible.
And they're stoked about it coming to Xbox.
And so is Yoshi, which is great.
Yeah. Now you hinted that other games.
Did I hint, or was it the CEO of Square that?
The CEO of Square.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure who was clear on who was hinting.
So where's Final Fantasy VII? Are we going to get 16? What does that mean?
Good question.
I recognize.
I feel like they're probably going to bring it out. I wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy 16 came to Xbox after it came to PC. I wouldn't be surprised. And I think if that one comes to Xbox, there's a chance that Final Fantasy VII could. I don't know.
That when people buy an Xbox, they want to make sure the great games that they want to play are coming.
They don't want any weeb shit.
And if there's any publisher out there where that hasn't been true, Square's one of the top profiles. So, like Sarah Bond and I know, like, fly to Tokyo, have conversations, and we've spent a lot of time with Square. There's obviously business deals and relationships that will have to get worked through on certain games, but I'll say it was really great to have the CEO of Square and Yoshi there to just talk about their commitment to Xbox, because I can say, like, I'm the head of Xbox, blah, blah, blah. But having the CEO of one of the third parties make a commitment to the platform, I thought was a really meaningful step. So you'll hear more.
Well, you've got to look at it from Square Enix's perspective. They kind of got fucked by Sony, because Square Enix releases Final Fantasy 16 on a console that's had distribution issues for 2 years. So a lot of people aren't going to be able to play their brand new game that they've invested fucking probably tens of millions of dollars into. Right? There's a contract with Sony. Yeah, they got fucked by Sony. There's no issues now? Yeah, but like now the problem is there's a lot of people that there were issues, so they bought an Xbox instead. They bought a Switch instead. They decided they weren't going to buy a PlayStation 5. Or they had the money then, they don't have it now. Like, for whatever reason, it's not possible or it's not happening now.
Or I'm not going to push them. Like, they're going to have to find their own rhythm. But having him make a commitment to Xbox was really important, both to me, and I've heard it from the community to the community as well. And 14 was more of a commitment.
Yeah, you can tell me off the air, but we got to go right now. Phil, don't go anywhere. We're going to have a few more questions for you. Thank you for watching, everybody. For more on all things gaming, keep it right here at Gamescom with IGN.
I'm glad they asked about mods for Starfield. I never even thought of that. That's really important. Square first sales were fucked because you were having money from one platform. Well, all I'm saying is, like, it's not good for a game, and it's not good for gamers to have console exclusivity. Like, there is no upside to the consumer that a video game releases only on PlayStation, or it releases only on Xbox, or only on PC. Like, ideally, every game would be available on every platform. So just keep that in mind. So I hope that that's what happens as much as possible. And ironically, I think that the lawsuit about the, you know, like, acquisition of Activision Blizzard might have helped that along a little bit more. I feel like that's probably, you know, like the outcome of that is probably like Overwatch going to Steam in like an indirect way. Exclusives are dumb. Well, they're not. Well, what I'm saying is that they are consumer unfriendly. Because, like, if you already have an Xbox, how is it good for you that you have to spend $500 again to buy a machine that's basically an Xbox, but it's called PlayStation, in order to play another game that's just not available on your platform? It's just, there's no advantage for the individual. People do it? Sure, yeah. I mean, definitely. People do it, but I'm just saying that it's not good. It's consumer hostile. Yeah, I think so. It's a nice advantage, though. It's never the dev's intention. Oh, I know that. Of course, right? But yeah, I think this is a great interview. I'm glad they asked about mods for Starfield. The Redfall stuff, I feel like you should let them live past that. I mean, listen, Redfall was fucking garbage. Everybody knows it. What else is there to say? Oh, Nintendo does exclusives worse than anybody. Oh, yeah, there can be small advantages. I'm sure there's, like, different things. Exclusives help fund game development. I feel like games get released on all platforms all the time. I don't like this argument that the only way was so you couldn't have a game unless it was an exclusive to a console. You have plenty of great games that are exclusive to consoles all the time, or that aren't exclusive. Yeah, come on. Console exclusives are the dinosaur version of battle passes. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Exclusives literally harm sales. Yeah. Not a fan of them, and I think that it's great that Square Enix is working with Xbox, and I hope we see more of their games go to PC as well. I think that the lack of availability of PS5s for so many years, definitely I think has hurt the performance of something like Final Fantasy 16. Like, how many of you guys don't have how many of you guys decided we're going to buy a PlayStation 5 at some point, but decided not to? Whenever they weren't available. A lot of people, right? And all of these me's could have been people that all they had to do was buy Final Fantasy 16. Because they already had the PlayStation 5. That's it. Couldn't afford it anyway. I get it.